Episode 3, Part 1, High Stakes Missions with Joey Barrier.
And as we're going up the stairs, he's if they had showed up, which I hadn't really thought about this until later, if they had decided, you know what, I'm going to step out in faith, and I'm going to go ahead and go to this class, and we're going to do this thing, we would probably all be dead.
You're listening to the Birds Words podcast where grit and faith meet. Our guest today is Joey Barrier. Joey is a Christian, shepherd, missionary, youth minister, head soccer coach, and is going to discuss some lessons he's learned along the way. I'm John Birdwell, your host.
About yourself.
My name is Joey Barrier.
Ooh, yeah, that was good.
I'm from Florence, Alabama, born and raised. Went to school here, went to college here. I've always lived here. But I've always traveled outside doing mission work from when I was little.
Yeah.
And then I also do like local ministry.
All right.
What else do you need to know?
All right, so let's see. So what all do you do? You teach, you coach, what all do you do?
I teach Bible classes at Mars Hill, coach varsity soccer, boys soccer at Mars Hill, and what else do I do? I teach classes at Heritage, missions classes at Heritage Christian University, and I'm a youth minister at Maud, and then I've listed all of the side jobs first, but the number one thing that I do is mission work in Southeast Asia.
Nice. There we go. That opened up some.
Yeah.
All right, so when did you become a Christian?
I was 12 years old, and I don't know if you want to hear all about that.
Let's hear it. That's why we're here. Let's hear it.
I honestly cannot remember the name of the preacher there. It was a gospel meeting at Stewartsville Church of Christ, Little Bitty Church, Savannah Highway, going up toward Tennessee, and I just remember this dude preached this amazing sermon, and it actually was a sermon, like it was a really scary sermon by hell. To be honest
Oh
with
man,
you.
yeah.
But I remember like just holding on to the pew in front of me,
Just white knuckling the
just
back of it.
hanging on to it. And afterwards, everything was done. I didn't go forward or anything, and my mom looked at me and she was like, "Joey, what's wrong?" And I was just sitting there crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "I don't want to go to hell, Mama."
yeah. A good healthy dose of fear right there.
Yeah, it was. And I questioned that later and then realized that no, that's natural and right.
Yeah, because there's the multiple theories of like, well, don't be a fear-mongering person, but then there's also like the truth of it, because it's like, well, that is true, so it doesn't like negate your baptism, even if you were just because you were afraid. So, all right, so I mean, what did you do? What did your mom say? Did she say, well, get up and walk down there, Like,
yeah, everything was over, and so she was like, "You want me to go talk to the preacher?" Or want me to go get the preacher, and I went over and talked to him for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what started.
So he dumped you under, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, what was it like after that? Did you, there's this thing where that's a pretty popular age. I mean, we're very moldable at that age.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that in a positive way, not like you're young and you don't know anything, because I was baptized, I think, at like 14. So not in like a negative way, but like when you hear the truth, I mean, it can prick your heart, and so you make a decision that lasts for years. But one of the things that happens is you kind of go through school and you make a lot of mistakes, like because you haven't hit like, well, I became a Christian, and then I was like, oh yeah. Then you get a little older and all these things happen and you're like, wait, am I still a Christian because I made these mistakes? And did you hit some of that too?
That's exactly what happened. So without going into details, senior year, is when I started like really being accountable with sin.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I was,
Which is normal to human beings.
Yeah.
So.
so and so like that, or I guess encountered with sin through the years, but that was the first time I really like gave in to sin. You know, like anyway, at least the
I got you.
big things. But anyway, so I went through this thing. I had a bad year of my life, and then I came back and I decided like I've got to give my life to God. This is ridiculous. And so I made this big change, big turn, and I remember telling my parents, like, I was like, I'm so excited about Jesus. I just
oh man, that's cool.
I don't know how to tell people.
Yeah.
I don't know who to tell. And they were involved in mission work, and I had made a couple of trips at that point in my life, or at least one, I think, at that time. But
you like a mission trip?
Yeah,
because you're family, right?
Yeah, so they were missionaries, and they went to congregations all over the area, and they went out to a little church in Colbert County called Maud, and they told them, like, it was like the next week that after I told them that I was really excited about Jesus, and they told them they were looking for a youth minister. They said, we've never hired a youth minister before, we don't know anything about it. Do you know anybody that's interested? An 18-year-old.
Sign me up. Yeah. Do you think like being given responsibility helped a lot? Yeah. Almost like you're trusted beyond what you should be, but it like that helps you internally.
Yes, I was still an idiot, and I made lots of mistakes, but
I have a similar journey. Yeah.
My heart was right, but I don't know. Like the spirit was willing, the flesh was terribly weak.
Yeah.
So I made lots of mistakes, but they were very patient with me and worked through a lot of things, and I'm still there.
So when did you go to? We're all on the journey. When did you go to school? You said you went to college?
Yes.
When did you go to school after high school?
So graduated high school in '95. Later in the summer, got the job at Maud. Then I started at Shoals Community College. Did the first 2 years there, and then went to Athens State University.
Nice. What'd you get your degree in? Or what'd you study?
This is what's funny, like physical education, because at that point I had decided that I wanted to do full-time mission work, but I needed to get some kind of degree in the teaching department. And my thought was, if no one will sponsor me, I will work as a teacher. And I really was thinking, like, this job will take the least out of me. Like I wouldn't have to think too much about it because it's PE.
You were strategic. That sounds like a massive strategy right there.
Yeah.
You're going to be fundraising while you're doing basketball.
Just play and just run around in the gym.
Yeah.
Which when going through school, I did elementary, and there would have been no such thing as like working on mission work strategies and all that kind of stuff while I was in there dealing with little kids. But anyway.
No.
It was hard work.
I go say it. Yeah.
It was actually hard work.
Oh, for sure. So what? Did the mission trip you went on? Is that why you had the call for more mission work, or what? What was the deal there?
So earliest memories. I go all the way back before that. My earliest memories of life was with my dad taking on a preaching job at a little church called Beavis, and it was just across the state line north of Florence. And I don't know what the deal is with this little corner of the world, but like the corner of that county, like right when you hit the state line, dirt roads. And at that time, no running water. So we're talking about...
This is the place they write songs about.
In the 80s. Yeah, like everybody had running water and everybody had it, but they did not. And a lot of the homes are in that community. No running water. They had a coal pile with a big heat, so the dude would come in there and warm the church building with that. And then...
No kidding.
So my dad preached there, and I can tell you a few stories about that. but that's my first memories of church at all, and some of my actual just first memories were being there. What was being there at that congregation. My dad preaching. He was doing it for free, which had big impact on me.
That's cool, yeah.
And so early on, one of the first few weeks of being there, he had this lesson. Of course, I don't remember this lesson, but I remember all the stuff that came from it. But he had a lesson, and just talking about how everybody can be a part, and everybody can help, and we're all parts of this body. And he, at the end, he said, if there's anybody here that knows of anybody that you think would want to have a Bible study, let me know. And so this older man came up to him afterwards, a man who could not even read, mind you.
Yeah.
Did not even have the ability to read, but he comes up to Daddy and says, I'm sorry. He comes up to Daddy and says, I'm going to have some people over at my house Tuesday if you want to come study with them.
So he just initiates this thing.
Yeah, so and Daddy's like, okay, I'll come over Tuesday. They set up a time. Daddy goes over there. I was with him. We were all with him. We used to ride with him every Bible study they went to.
Oh, that's cool.
Which, most of the time they're inside studying with people, and we're outside rolling down the hills and barrels with the kids and stuff. So we're out there going crazy, and would walk inside the house, and they would be in there crying, like studying the Bible with somebody.
Just convicted. You just open the door and you look in, and you're like, oh man.
Hello, what's going on in here?
Yeah.
So a lot of nights like that, but it all happened from this one moment. So Daddy comes down the road, and he sees cars lined up on both sides of the road at this dude's house. And as he pulls up to the house, he sees all these people standing out in the yard. There's over 100 people there, and he's thinking, like, somebody's died.
At this house for a Bible study?
Yeah. So Daddy's thinking, somebody's died. Like, this is like...
He got suckered into something. He didn't
going
know.
on, and all these people are there. And so he's thinking, okay, no more Bible studies. I'm going to be mourning with a family or something. Plans have changed. So he pulls up to the house, and that man walks out, and he's like, they're here. They're ready to study. And so Daddy stood up on the front porch and basically preached a gospel sermon to over 100 people all sitting out there in the grass.
That is cool.
And so then, like the 5-6 years that we were there, he was working through every one of those people, studying 2 to 3 nights a week with people. And every time they would get to the point where they wanted to obey, we would go to a creek. They didn't have a baptistry in the church building.
Get some.
So we would go down to Second
Crystal
Creek.
cold streams. Yeah.
And I remember nights being out there with the headlights pointed out into the water, and Daddy would be out there baptizing people.
Well, that's got to burn into your memory.
Oh yeah,
That's firsthand. You were in field training.
Yeah.
How old were you then? Like 10?
Somewhere 3, probably 3 to 8.
Oh yeah, so you're
started around 3, ended around 3 to 9.
Yeah. You jumped right into the field training program there.
And it was in that time. This is what started it. You asked that question about mission work. It was in that time that a visiting missionary came named J.C. Choate. J.C. and Betty Choate showed up and talked to my parents, and then Daddy started helping raise funds for mission works overseas while he was preaching there.
Was he doing mission work at that time?
This is when he first started. So he had not been on any trips at this point, but I remember like putting money in the little jar, in class, raising money for work in Sri Lanka. Which years later I finally went to Sri Lanka and met them and saw the building that we had
that's cool.
raised money for and all that. But that's what started it, and we just got deeper and deeper and deeper into that. And Daddy got more and more involved, and then when he retired, he went into that full time. And that was somewhere around 2000, and that's when I graduated from college, and I started doing it full time too.
So you stepped down from youth ministry at the time, or?
No, I've always been part-time youth minister doing full-time mission work.
And so, how many years now have you been doing mission work total, would you say?
Full-time since 2000.
Okay, since 2000.
And went on my first trip that I went on, I think it might have been like 91, 92.
Well, it's that little church you were talking about.
Yeah.
That was your first mission trip,
first trip
right?
to Asia,
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
That really was, that was setting everything up.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's cool. So, graduate college. So you've been doing youth ministry for a little while then, and full-time mission work. So, who do you travel with? Like, how do you find your places? All that.
We started out going to the places that J.C. Chubb was already working in. So he had work in New Delhi, in Bangalore, some work in the Philippines, in Cebu, and did some work in Pakistan, but got pushed out of Pakistan. I'm trying to think, and Sri Lanka. Those were that was kind of like the beginning that we did, and then it just started growing from there.
So you get the plane tickets. You've got a contact out there. You go out there. What do you do once the door opens up? What do you do from there? Just in general, or do you have different goals at different places?
I can give you like the boring, what we do everywhere that we go is we find somebody that can find a way to do some type of mass communication of the gospel. Like if it's radio, if it's TV, if those things are illegal, then some form of literature where you just get the message out to millions of people. That's number one.
All right.
And
so get the word out there. Number one.
Yeah.
Find somebody who can get the word out there.
And if you're asking this from somebody who's wanting to get involved in this, like most people that come in to help us that are introducing themselves to mission work, they come in on phase 3.
Okay. So there's phases here. Yeah, let's hear it.
So phase 2 is following up with all the contacts that you make from all the mass efforts.
All right.
And some places that can be a handful of people. Some places it's thousands upon thousands. And so you have to have a guy in that country that's just what they do. And then after they follow up with people, churches start popping up all over the countries, and then we want to make sure we strengthen them and make sure that we don't just plant a church somewhere and they're left alone. So we bring members of those congregations in and train them in schools. And people that come with us for their first times, they come to those schools and help with the training there.
That's a lot.
So you're teaching people to teach people, rather than us going over and doing all the work and planning a congregation ourselves and doing it.
And then leaving it with them.
Trying to turn it over to them, like we let them it's turned over from the start.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway, so the people that come in and help us, they plug in to the schools that we have.
Yeah. No, that's neat. And the discipleship method is really, that's a biblical model.
Yes.
So, do you try to stay in touch with them often?
Holidays overseas?
Yeah, when you come back over here. So, what's the relationship look like the rest of the year when you're not there? What's that looking like? Because they're still working, they're building the church, they're encouraging people. So, your role kind of shifts a little bit. So, what do you go into there?
What we do, we raise funds. A lot of what we do is raise funds, and we are constantly communicating with them. As I'm sitting here, let me just tell you, I've got messages from Peru, I've got messages from the Philippines, and I've got messages from Nepal.
Wow, yeah.
As we sit here.
Yeah.
So, and they'll text me through the day and through the night. They don't sleep.
Yeah, what's a lot of the text like? How to solve a problem, how to handle something moving forward, how much money?
Edwin's, the last ones I was talking to Edwin.
Man, he's a cool dude.
And he
posts videos of people being baptized all the time.
Every day.
At night.
Yeah.
During the day, at schools, Bible studies in people's houses. It was really cool getting to meet him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, like last month, there's a congregation that's kind of dwindling down, and it used to be a thriving congregation, and it's on the other side of the island, way on the other side. And he's asking me like, hey, can we like send somebody there, which is going to cost money to have somebody like permanently located there, have a preacher there, and so we're problem solving. So we go in a big conversation. I don't think we can do that. We're stretched. We're spread so thin. What is a way? How are ways that we could figure out how to get somebody there? And then so they figure out like we can get a couple of our guys that work with him to just go over there every other weekend and preach there and do and be there on Saturday and Sunday. So they would just spend the night at those people's house. Then they go around and they go door knocking and all that kind of stuff. And then also they're going to bring 2 older members down to their school. And so that's going to encourage them, put them.
Yeah.
You haven't had to pay the relocation fund. They're already there, and you're just having guys there. It costs a little bit of money, but we're talking about $30, $40, as opposed to hundreds.
And just like that, you've got a plan moving forward.
Yes, and like every week he sends me pictures, and guess what? There's
Results.
There's more people, and it's soon going to turn into baptisms, new members. One of those new members is going to end up being a new preacher there.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and tell you. So.
Well, one of the things that impresses me, which we went on that trip together, but I feel like sometimes we baby people. Like we don't. I don't know. We don't expect a lot of things sometimes for younger people. I've had to reassess that a little bit. And you take a 16-year-old. You're like, hey, what are you doing? And you think that they're just a kid who's just jumping in the bus to go to this youth event, and that 16-year-old is leading the children's ministry and leading the Bible songs. And you're like, oh wow, you're a 16-year-old lady, and you're in charge of this whole thing for your entire village.
Yeah.
And then another guy's taking notes, and I ask him, like, hey, what you working on over there? And he's like, he's copying the Bible in one language to a different language so that he can speak the dialect of the people across the river or whatever. And so it makes me reassess a little bit. Or the 16-year-old guy who's climbing the coconut tree with a machete, with just nothing but a pair of shorts on and a machete, and he's cutting these coconuts down for us, and his dad sent him. His dad's like, hey, get up there and cut these things down, and I mean, sometimes we're pretty protective, but it's really cool to see what people can do. And I think part of it is if we equip and trust people, like, hey, you can do this. Like, hey, you can do something for our kids' ministry here at church too, even though you're young.
Yeah.
I think there's elements there.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, this Maud trusted me when I was 18 years old and still didn't have it figured out.
That's right.
Why don't we trust people in the same way? They trusted me, and not to get on some kind of weird racist kind of thing, but we've got this thing in us that we feel like they can't handle it. And we've got to have an American there.
Yeah, you're talking about overseas mission.
That is an American way of doing mission work. We feel like we've got to get in there and do everything because they can't handle it. Yet at the same time, we always come back and say, I believe they taught me more. Well, of course they did. Their faith, is just leaps and bounds greater than, so what are we teaching them? So if we admit that their faith is so great, why can't we trust them to handle responsibility? And so just start it with them and leave it with them and encourage and support.
You think a lot of that's control? We want to be in control of it. We want to
Absolutely.
control the money. We want to control the results. We want to control.
I've heard people say, what happens if we kind of mass evangelism kind of thing? All of a sudden we've got a bunch of Christians on the other side of the mountain. and as a bad thing. Because we can't get over there and
control,
monitor and control it. And I'm like, good. You've got Christians on the other side of the mountain. that you cannot control, and they're doing their own thing, and they're doing it without any of your assistance.
Yeah.
You know, like
we get in our own way sometimes.
Yeah. So you hadn't even started up some kind of weird welfare situation where they're completely dependent on the American money flowing through.
Yeah.
So we chop the legs off, or whatever, however you want to say that.
Yeah.
We kill our own progress.
Well, so here in America, what I mean, in my mind, I see stark differences in viewing mission work. To me, it almost seems more real to go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like we lose that back to our own places.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe in both. I think that they need to be there, and I think that they need to be here. But do you feel like sometimes maybe either we're so comfortable or we don't view it as real down the street, or we're not willing to go down the street? Or like, what do you think the differences are in our mentalities between an overseas mission trip and taking a local mission trip like really seriously?
Yeah.
You know?
I would say this this is a problem of compartmentalizing. There's books about this. Like when we go on mission trips, there's the narrative of mission, like the things that you come home talking about. How many times have you heard somebody say, "My eyes were open"? It's because they were looking for it.
Yeah.
They were looking for their eyes to be open, to see things like this, and half the time, they're not even seeing for what it really is, because they're looking for something. They want to see the things that we've been trained to see. You could probably tell them to me. You know, like they gave everything that they had.
things
like we look for in missions, and when we go, we're going to see that and have our eyes open. It's compartmentalized to this is mission trip, Joey. This is like we even do it with youth group. Like when we're in the youth van and you see somebody on the side of the road, like, oh, we better help them. You know, like because we're in youth group mode.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And so like it should just be Christian mode, Christ mode. Like no matter where you are, no matter what's going on, like so down the street, like we don't have to go on a mission trip to have Mission USA. Like it should just be in us.
Yeah, it's just what happens.
Yeah, this is life. This is the guy that I'm talking to right now. And we compartmentalize, and I've even seen preachers in classes were actually just blew their minds when they realized, like, oh, when I'm at a ball game, I should be talking to people.
Which is funny because I feel like youth ministry is the opposite. Youth ministry is like the ball game is the mission field.
Yeah.
And I don't know, youth ministry to me feels like such a biblical model because it's all about you just spend time, teach as you go, and then these things. I feel like for preachers sometimes it's harder because it's with adults, and sometimes adults are more set in their ways.
Yes. It is hard.
But if you take 15 people and jump in a bus and they're just we're ready for whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes there's a little bit of, I guess, moldability, if that's that's the thing there.
Yeah. No, there's strength in that. Like so you get somebody in a van and take them somewhere, or you get on a plane, go somewhere and open their eyes, but then teach them to remain open when they're here.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what it takes, and I don't know if that's what it took for me. I honestly think that it was just watching my parents.
Well, absolutely.
But still, there was a process.
Well, because even if you weren't doing mission work overseas, I mean, I think you would still be doing. I mean, you'd be telling cool stories here. I mean, you'd run into somebody, cutting down a tree on the side of the road. You'd run into them, and it'd be about bringing them to Christ. I think it's. All right, so, we talked a little bit about the difference in mission here and there and compartmentalizing, and that's a great point. So, how do we fix that? I mean, how do we change the mentality of, I feel like a lot of people feel stuck. Mm-hmm. Like we're interfaith, and we live in my opinion, a society where we're almost numb. We're numb to all the information. We're numb to all the screens. Our screen time reports are crazy. I mean, like, it's amazing we can actually stare at a device for that long. It's just robbing us of life.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's one of the benefits. Like when we go on our mission trip, even to Florida or whatever. I mean, when I take an inventory of the kids' attitudes and how they respond to certain things, I mean, it's also like what you're talking about. I mean, it's like snot coming out of their face and like crying. Well, they hadn't been on their phone, and they've been surrounded by Christians, and they've been serving people and helping. And I feel like that's when people feel alive.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I guess my question is, well, how do we do that? How do we wake up and engage? How do we do that here?
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that you're in the battle of trying to wake people up, just like I'm in that same battle. It's one at a time. Sometimes it's one at a time, bringing people with you on these trips. And yes, eyes are open, but it is. I think it's more so of you living it. I mean, like you're teaching it, but you have to live it.
That's true.
And that's how I learned it from my parents. And that's what's crazy is I don't know how many people are faithful that they taught, but it taught me. You know, like I learned that lesson, and I know that some are. You know what I mean? But I do know that spoke to me. I do understand that. So the number one thing is you have to live it, and you have to mean it, and yeah, I don't know.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. You can't just talk about it.
Yeah. Don't talk about it, be about it. Well, let's talk about one of your mission trips.
Okay.
You're good at that. You're good at going on mission trips, and I mean, it's second nature to you. I mean, you've talked about that before. You don't have to sit down and write a little list out with a pencil. It just it spontaneously just happens throughout your day, all day long. All right. So, what's a mission trip that really had an impact on you?
Everyone. Well, I'll tell you. Like a few years back, we started going into China. But I'll tell you this. This one's not as dramatic, I guess, but. We went into China, and this was our first time to ever go in there, and I had no idea. All we had ever heard is China's dangerous, don't get caught, and so we just met with a couple of guys, and that went well. We were only there for 24 hours, we didn't get caught. Did it again, brought a few more people down there, didn't get caught. So, so it kept getting bigger and bigger, and so we had a really good trip. We trained like all these people that had come down from the mountains. Their hands were purple because they had been shelling peas. I was like, "Do y'all have yaks? Where y'all are from?" And they were like, "I have two." And so and then I was like, "Do y'all know any, like how many white people do y'all know?" And I was like, "You."
No kidding. You're the only one.
Me and Andrew were the only white people that they had ever seen in their life, and so we even had the moment where we're touching each other's skin, to see if the texture still felt the same and all that. And so we met with these people, and they were awesome, and we studied with them all week. And then 3 women at the end of the week wanted to be baptized, and we're in a tourist town, and we chose that town so it wouldn't look weird to have white guys walking around. There was a lot of Europeans, so we thought this would be a good town. It's a tourist town. There's this old city there that a lot of people come visit, and but it's up in the mountains, close to the Burma border. And where was I at? Okay, so these 3 women were going to be baptized, but we're all from out of town. Even the people that live there, they're out of town. So none of us know where can we go to get baptized. You can't go out to the lake there because the water is running off of snow-capped mountains. So it's really, really, really cold.
Wake you up spiritually.
And people would see you, yeah. And we're like, we probably don't need to go out there. It's a big, huge lake, and everybody would see us. And they said, well, there's some hot springs. We found out there's some hot springs in town, and they have some pools at those hot springs. So we think, okay, we'll go there to those pools, and maybe we can jump in there and baptize them real quick. It won't be a big deal. we'd already decided that he and Andrew were not going to go near them. We're gonna we wanted.
You're gonna keep your distance. Yeah.
But they said it's okay if y'all to go in, just stand on the other side of the pool.
So you've got a local who's going to baptize them.
Yeah, well, as local as could be. He is a Chinese citizen.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually Burmese and Chinese citizen.
Gotcha.
He's got dual citizenship. He's local in that sense, but not local because he's out of town too. We're all in the city.
Right. It's all these layers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to baptize them, but when we get to the pool and realize like this is a crazy public pool. There's all these people. It's like the rec center, like or YMCA. There's all these hundreds of people around there, and they won't even let you in. You can't even get in the pool unless you have a swimsuit. So none of them have swimsuits. They've never owned one.
No.
They've never gone swimming for like fun. Like
That's
that.
unreal.
Because they all live in the mountains. When you get in the water, it's freezing cold. So anyway, none of them own that.
They weren't on a polar plunging kick like it's trending right now. they did it before it was cool. Yeah.
Only if they had to.
Yeah,
so,
I gotcha.
So it's 3 women, 3 different sized women, and 3 different aged women. So one young, one middle aged, one old, one a little bit bigger, one really really skinny, one middle size. So anyway, they're selling swimsuits up at the counter at this place, but they're way overpriced because it's a little tourist trap. But we're like, okay, I guess we have to buy one, and they're not going to let them in the water. So they buy one.
Out of curiosity, and the modesty there. Like, what type of bathing suit are we talking about? Are we talking about short? It's a one piece. Okay, yeah.
Now, but here's what's great. I've never experienced it. This is the only time I've ever experienced this. The guy had to buy one too, so they wouldn't let him in the pool, and they all wear Speedos. They all swim in Speedos. So Luke, who's doing the baptizing, has to buy a Speedo.
Could you?
This is lacking the inspiration, but
yeah. I don't want to take away from this incredible moment here.
Yeah.
But I just want to note that, I can't say I've ever, for the sake of furthering the kingdom, had to go up and purchase a Speedo.
This is the first time I've ever seen this happen.
And that is unique. This is why you're here.
Yeah.
You can't get this in many places.
Yeah.
All right.
They buy one swimsuit that they feel like would fit all of them.
Yeah.
And so they go in the locker rooms, and we all stand outside the pool. And then he comes out in his Speedo, jumps in the water, and then one at a time, this women came out and jumped in the water and just kind of acted like they're swimming around.
So they're trying to be nonchalant.
All these people are swimming and doing laps and just like kids are playing and stuff. And they're like looking around, and I'm over there on the other end. Just kind of looking over my shoulder. And Andrew's got his phone picture real quick,
Yeah.
And like, so one at a time, baptize them, and they go back in, and then a few minutes later, the other one comes out wearing the same swimsuit. All were baptized. So, and here's where we messed up. So we took pictures of everybody, all of us in the group, and those 3 women, they go back home, they go back to their village and start telling people, as they should, about what happened, about that they had heard the gospel preached, that they obeyed it, that they had their sins washed away. Started telling people about Jesus, because most of the people in that area are atheists. And they're taught to be atheists, yet they don't really they're not devout, like they just, I guess I'm an atheist, So it's actually a really wide open, easy mission field, which is completely different from what I've ever been taught. So they're going around telling everybody about this and showing them pictures, and then they end up showing somebody a picture of the full group, all of us there, and they're looking in there and they see there's 2 white people.
And that was the red flag.
They're not from here. That's the only thing that was illegal. It would have been legal for Chinese citizens to do that. It was legal for him to baptize them, but it was illegal for us to be teaching. So So we don't know about. None of us know about this, and so they don't even know that there's been any red flags. They don't. They just have told people, and people are telling people, and other people are telling people. So the next year we plan to come back the exact same time. We show up in China, and our Chinese guy is there, and our Burmese guy, who's our translator, he meets us at the airport, and we get back to the hotel, and I say, like, how many students do we have this year? Because every year it's grown a little bit. Last time we'd had about 15 of them there, and he said, let's talk when we get to the room. I said, oh no, something's wrong. And so
yeah, that's not what you want to do.
we get to the room, and as we're going up the stairs, he's looking around all different directions. We get in the room.
And you're checking his corners, and
He
you're like,
is,
dude, what
like,
are you doing?
He walked to the window. He gets this little teeny tiny window, and he opens it up and looks around outside. We're on the third floor. I'm like, was somebody going to be like, I don't know. Anyway, so he's looking around, looks out the window, looks out the door, and then he's like, no school. He said that those women that were on the bus coming down to this city, and every time you go through like a city, like outside of city limits.
Yeah.
Right when you get to the city limits, there's a checkpoint. Every person on that bus has to show their papers, show your license.
Which is normal there.
Yeah, to show that you're a citizen, show, whatever.
Can you imagine doing that here?
And when they show their license, this is who I am, this is my citizenship, they say, get off the bus. They get off the bus, they pull them over to the side, and they say, we know what you did last year.
Last year?
Yes. Yeah, this is a year from then. So we know exactly where you went last year. We know what happened. They know that they were baptized. They know everything about it. They say, and if you do this again, if you try this again, we're going to catch you. And so they stayed off the bus, walked across the street, got on the bus stop,
and went right
back home. If they had showed up, which I hadn't really thought about this until later, if they had decided, you know what, I'm going to step out in faith, I'm going to go ahead and go to this class, and we're going to do this thing, we would probably all be dead. They weren't just thinking about themselves, they were actually thinking about us.
About the whole mission, yeah.
About
the whole mission.
Yeah. I would have,
everybody.
I might have gone to prison, they might have killed me, I have no idea, but they probably would have killed all of them. That's what they told us. And then here's what's crazy about this is after that, they said, you still want to go on a campaign?
Yeah.
After they tell us this.
Yeah. He's putting
the leaders
stuff up over the windows to hide what's in it. And he's like, all right, you ready?
The students aren't here, but you want to go visit with them one at a time. They were like, we can actually take this time and get a bus and go up to them. We just won't get our Bibles out. And so I'm sending messages back home, and Daddy's like, get home now.
You're giving him a play-by-play, and he's like, dude.
Yeah, it's like,
leave.
The second you do anything, they are all over you. Like,
well, see, yeah. What I guess impresses or amazes me is you would think, I don't know, on the outside looking in, you think, oh, they don't know what's going on. They don't. They are tuned in to the things that happen.
They know every citizen in that country, all 1.4 billion. They're all counted.
Yeah, well, and I think we've talked before. I mean, you get off the plane and you feel like you're blending in, and there's 10 people that are like, look at this white guy. look at him. Where's he from? And then, I mean, it spreads like wildfire. And so, I mean, how do you blend into a place? I mean, that is human nature everywhere.
Yeah.
In America, I mean, we may not realize it as much, but in certain places, like, you go into even a certain neighborhood and you're just trying to either be nice or, and they're like, man, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And that's protecting their people, but at the same time, like when you're doing dangerous mission work and trying to help to save souls and spread Christianity, and people could get killed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, do you have places like that where you're really conscientious about? You're like, we're not going to rock the boat. Because just like those ladies were protecting you,
yeah.
Are you really cautious about how you look, how you present yourselves, what you do for your entire mission work. Like you might say, well, we're going to have to back off of this a little bit to keep the whole mission work going forward.
Yeah. At that point, we chose to have all the guys come across the China border into Burma. They could freely cross that border. It wasn't too big of an issue to go into Burma at that time, and we trained them from Burma. So we chose. I haven't been back since then.
Yeah.
That was 2013. So it's been a decade, and it's been successful doing it that way. So you just do whatever you have to do. It actually works better to train them from Burma. It's a little bit easier. Obviously, we probably could have gotten a few more people, easier access to more people if we could have done it from China, but it's forced us to work with those leaders. They go back and they go on campaigns. Yeah. But like a lot of those countries in Southeast Asia are really, really touchy like that.
Yeah.
Burma is especially touchy right now.
Yeah, it's rough over there right now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's rough. So what would you say was one of the biggest things that, the main things that you took back from that trip in China, and just that heightened level of like, oh, this could go bad, because if you're in a hotel room, I mean, so you go from one picture, and you're trying to keep a low profile. I mean, and you're kind of trying to keep your distance, but like you said, I mean, pictures, it's like, it gets people these days,
Yeah.
I mean, but not necessarily that. What's one thing you just learned and you're like, this shaped the way that I do it moving forward in these types of environments?
Well, I realized like how tight of a grip they have on everybody. So like when people tell you like how tense it is, believe them.
Yeah, they're not playing.
They're like, and we think that there's no way that they could have tabs on everybody like that, but they do, and that lets you know like they are watching you. You must be careful on all kind of levels. All kind of levels, like on the safety level, and on just you can go over there and completely. You could cause some crazy issue that's never been brought up before, and just completely rip a church to shreds over just something really stupid that you say, or you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like the point is like low profile in everything.
Yeah. And I mean,
which is a contrary to my nature.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know this, but I mean the power's in the gospel, but it is, there's a part of it where, well, I mean, you look at, let's just say, the American version of like what youth ministry is, in a positive way. I mean, but you take pictures, you highlight. I mean, this great country we live in, but yeah, I mean, it's what you do, and it's like it's marketing. Yeah. It's like, I look at all the friends that are coming. Look at all the schools that we have involved. Look at all the ministry opportunity in the trips that we have and the opportunities to serve. Well, there it's like the work is being done, but it's not flashy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still effective though.
Under the radar.
It's still effective.
Which, that's a whole other thought. Like, that's actually very biblical. Like we want to market.
Pray in the closet kind of stuff, or what do you mean?
Jesus was, don't tell anybody about this.
Oh yeah.
Like he was intentionally trying to make the crowd smaller. He even gave them the hard lessons of you got to eat my flesh, drink my blood.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
But all through Mark, he's saying like, don't tell anybody.
Which is interesting because his method worked.
Yeah, so like, is it reverse psychology, or did he really not? Like he was.
Yeah, because that's what I was kind of thinking.
But like we want to just give them everything, and I don't know. There might be something to that. I haven't worked completely.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind is like hey, don't tell the secret.
Yeah.
And then everybody wants to go tell it. But also, I mean, we've talked about circles before. Inner circle, bigger circle, the mass, you feed all these people, or like the 10 people that were cleansed and one came back kind of thing. So I think that there's a lot of different methods that might be that work in different situations.
Yeah.
But I also think, sometimes, I mean, it's case by case sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not always cookie cutter. And so that being said, the gospel in Asia, in America, in any of the mission points, what is someone is sitting here saying, man, I'd like to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do something. Could be a trip, could be, like you said, not compartmentalized in the, whatever, just a regular person. They're wanting to do something and share the gospel. I mean, where do you start? We go to church. I know, like, we are the church, but the old saying, we go to church. Yeah. But I feel like people going back want to be awake.
Yeah.
They're like, I want to feel something special with my Lord and Savior. And I want to do the right thing, and I want to please Him and live obedient lives.
Yeah.
I mean, pure and undefiled religion is this, right? Serve widows and orphans in their affliction, and keep oneself unstained from the world. So the question is, well, what do? You're in a rut, you're in a rhythm. You go to your job. We've got some church events, but how do you really bust through to the? I want to do what the Bible says to do.
Yeah.
I
think that you can go the route that I went, which is just like I was in a place where I didn't know what to do. It's literally what like I was a guy. So first, tell somebody.
Jump in.
Yeah, just tell anybody. Tell somebody. Tell your youth minister. Tell your preacher. Tell your elder. Tell somebody. I want to do more. They will help you with opportunities. Because like me, yes, I could have just immediately just started talking to people, but like me, a lot of us are nervous to do that and don't know how to do that, and so it's kind of this way in. It's a way in, and it's amazing what happens once you put on that hat. When you decide I'm going to be a youth minister now. All of a sudden, people look at you as a youth minister, and people who didn't talk about spiritual things will ask you about spiritual things, and it just provides opportunities for that. So there's that route. Mm-hmm. There's the official the official route of going that way, and the other route is, which can be more powerful. God can work however He wants to in everybody's lives, but I've also seen other people that just start doing it. I've had kids in my youth group who would text me. This is back like years ago. Like I guess I don't know if kids can even have phones at school now. Anyway, so they're texting me like, "Hey, what's that verse?" Blah blah blah. And I text them back and tell them. He's like, "Okay, thanks. I'm studying with some dude at home." What?
Oh, nice.
And then like he tells me the next day, he's like, "Yeah, we ended up having to do it later because it got so loud in there, and like we couldn't even hear each other talk."
That's a little humbling, isn't it? You're like, man, you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
That right there, like you just start studying with people, and like this is what's crazy, and it's sad that it took me so many years to figure this out. To just go up to people that you've been talking to, hanging out with, and just ask them like, "What do you think about this?" If they're hanging around your church,
and open-ended discussion
about all this. Yeah. And then it's usually like, I think it's pretty awesome. I like this. That's usually it's positive. You want to study the Bible? I can't believe it probably took me 5-6 years of youth ministry to realize to open up God's Word and study with somebody. All I had to do was say, "Would you like to study the Bible?"
Yeah.
And then their lives just forever changed. We get in there and start reading that, and they sit there next to me, reading the words for themselves of things that they've never read before, and those words are powerful.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes we're that way, though. I mean, we're all around the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, just ask.
Just say it.
I think I listened to a presentation on this neurologist who said your body has like a system of that also, like on a scientific level. Like if you're going to do something, if you hesitate for longer than a certain amount of seconds or time, then it's like it goes statistically way down.
Yeah, it's like standing at the high dive.
Yeah.
You go up there on the about 30 feet up.
Yeah.
And you look down there. If you don't immediately jump, there's a good chance you're never going to jump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've had opportunities like that where even like I've walked by someone in their car, and I mean, you know what I'm talking. They've got this look, like they are just crushed, like they need Jesus, and you know your feet are kind of moving in slow motion, and you're like leaning, and you're like, should I say something? And then you don't.
Yeah.
And that window passes, and then I look back and I'm like, oh. Why were you such a coward right there? And, you know, then they drive off and, you never see them again.
Gone.
And that hurt. I mean, that hurts.
Is that quenching the spirit?
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, the sin of omission, if I'm intrinsically compelled, and there's just every fiber in my being, it's like you need to, or almost every fiber, it's like you need to tell them about Jesus. Then there's the one that's like, oh, I mean, you know, whatever.
Which is this thing right here.
Yeah.
What we are doing right now.
Yo, this is that thing for you. This is your mass communication. Yeah. You were standing outside for 5 seconds and said, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to get it. Well, I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you did.
Me too.
Oh, man.
You just finished listening to Episode 3, Part 1 with Joey Barrier on the Birds Words podcast. The next episode might bring you to tears as you hear a gut-wrenching account from the Barrier family missions involving some courageous Christians and God's incredible work. Whether it's an AK-47 in the face or the compassion of a mother, we hear about some encounters involving serious possible consequences as God's people. My aim is to bring you solid content from people who offer real experience where grit and faith meet, and provide insightful discussion that equips you with wisdom, spiritual encouragement, and truth to help you conquer the day. If you're enjoying the content, take a second to rate the show on your podcast platform. Also, you can help out by following on Instagram or Facebook to see when new releases are headed your way. Be on the lookout for the next episode.